city, you get it? The summation of the Egyptian runs straight through to the Hasidic, all spiritual context. In between them is Buddhism and Islam. Here's the catch. The Egyptology expands to the point of constitutionality. So this is pre-Buddhist, when this was created, sort of thing. We draw out those lines to fruition in a constitutional, logical sort of context. That's where you get your Messiah point. And so I have a small list dealing with kind of what would be the bedrock of Zarthurian. Everything gets gathered there, basically, almost inevitably, which is why I'm always moving from one problem to the next problem. The bedrock of Zarthurianism basically access points to everything, because it relies also on the Buddhist Enlightenment calendar, the I Am, higher plane principle where the saints gather, so to speak. Hinduism in force has all the black and the white and all the point spectrum, all the intelligence. Islam is self-intelligence. So you have the whole world basically just in that format. You don't need any of this other stuff, which is the pushback against the limitations in slavery and the anti-regenerative properties of destruction and distraction, non-awareness, antichrist shit. So, Egypt to fruition means Hasidism. There's a calendar sort of thing that we're not going to deal with necessarily in Hasidism, and there's a different one with Orthodox Jews, and that's kind of your V or spectrum of Israeli, basically. There's no division sort of thing, which is what we're talking about here as the header. New Age sort of thing, age of information. So some of them weren't wild about the Messiah property, kind of from the get-go. But they're coming to like it. And it started in America with constitutionality. The Zen-Israeli agreement ending the ISIS conflict. And then also in that, there was a unification. Pope got involved with the Catholic Church. 2016 is the basis of all that. So the center dealt with the Zarthurianism context, which I had written previously, and then that becomes a mantra or a creed later, endorsed by basically every fringe group that there is, as well as the Church of Satan. It's the whole black spectrum. So there's a billion things that go into it, but it's just how prophecy works and how things are, and no illusion, no distortion, no image, no politic, no spin, no polarization, no violence, just fact, straight constitutional fact. You can find everything. Basically the only organizational property on the planet. Everything corresponds to this, or it's flawed in some capacity to be in this categorical means that you've sorted everything out to this point. So if you would like plant yourself right there, you could just grow continuously and never have a problem, which is what this does. So it incorporates the Messiah context as well as the Islamic. So no crusades, none of that, no disagreements. And it's in Buddhist terminology, phrased in between Judaism and then all that's known or unknown about any sort of dark spectrum, which is exactly where Zarthurianism occurs, incorporating in the ideals of like threshold rather than limits, so paradoxes rather than non sequiturs. That's creation, natural motion, hippiedom, all the tribes, Birdman cult, which is where all that comes to. They figured out in the 60s. So everything good basically gets protected. Everything good expands to the point that it is. And then there's no unknown qualities to any sort of debate. You just straight reference something. You don't need to do guesstimates or presenteering, garbage like that. And that's what constitutionality is. Getting rid of the evil triangle. So that's how that works.